Approval of minutes, October 23rd, 2024. No meeting took place, so there's no minutes.
There's minutes for October.
Minutes for October.
No minutes for November,
And December. Thank you, correction. Clement Construction,
They have not arrived yet, so if we could
Okay,
go and come back to that.
all right. Next week.
number 2, we have a resolution to approve second amendment to the purchase and sale agreement for
Just started.
960 Agard. City manager.
Essentially, what's happening here is that, as I'm sure you all know, the Project T agreements that we had worked on that initially had the December date has been missed. I have been in contact with them last time, and in fact, just even a couple of hours ago. They're asking us to move the date forward to April 7th. And that basically is all that would be changing in terms of their agreement. Ask the committee to advance the resolution to the full commission. This move is really doesn't do what needs to be done to try to affect the closing.
Right. No questions? All right, we'll move that forward. Good amplifier on this thing.
Okay. Next, we have number 3, resolution for the acceptance and execution of Eagle Grant, Bobo, Brazil. City manager.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this particular resolution is to accept and authorize the execution of the Eagle Grant of $500,000 that we received for the Bobo Brazil Center. As you know, we have already a $1 million grant that is covering design, and as much as what the balance of that will cover, we get this $550,000 or $500,000, which is an environmental justice grant that comes from Eagle, and we also now will have some additional monies out of the other grant that you've been hearing about from EPA.
Okay.
And this one just deals with the Eagle $500,000 grant authorizing the acceptance of it and the implementation, and I would sign and begin to do what needs to be done in accordance with the terms and conditions of the grant.
You mean the renovations, getting that going, stuff like that? No match for the city. City don't have to.
Not on this.
That's great. Great. It's a good thing, money coming to the city. No match. Commissioner, would you have anything on this? What was there?
One question. So the 2 grants that we receiving coming from Eagle are for 2 separate projects, or are they just overlap or whatever is needed?
We actually have several different from that.
Okay.
This one is specifically targeted to the Bobo Brazil Center.
Commissioner Henry.
Thank you, Chair. I sent out an email to everyone concerning grants and writing grants for the city. I didn't get a response from you, Mr. Little, and that's unusual, because you usually read all your emails.
I didn't see that one yet.
And you usually respond to them, so. There was some conversation in the past about people or different groups that wrote grants on the stacks of Benton Harbor. There was a resolution that was passed that asked them to report to us didn't work too well, but because people were writing grants
Mm-hmm.
and using our stats. So, Mr. Little sent an email out, kind of in that same realm,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that he was gonna put a stop to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I totally agree with him,
Mm-hmm.
but I just like to make sure that we have a lot of transparency.
Mm-hmm.
So when whoever is writing the grant and when that, now we don't know if we're gonna get the grant. Whoever writes it don't know that they're gonna get it
Mm-hmm.
unless they got an inside card with the state or somebody. But for us as elected officials, we should get a copy of the grant that was written and what was approved by the grantees. So we'll know exactly what's going on, because I have gotten completely confused about how many grants we got, what they're for, because I've never seen anything given to us, an award letter that tells us exactly what the grant is for and who's gonna handle. The award letter tells us everything.
Mm-hmm.
We might ask for a million and they give us 1.5 million. But for us to keep getting these, and we better get them as while we can, because we don't know when the money gonna stop coming.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to the chair and to Mr. Little is that the commission is getting provided these, when we get an award letter, that we get it immediately. It's just automatically given to the clerk or whoever is gonna send it to us, that we get it immediately. Then when we get an opportunity to look at it on our own, and then when it comes to this meat and potato meeting, we'll have something to say. But now we don't have anything to say, but 500,000, that's pretty good. We don't know who's handling it. We don't know who wrote it. We don't know what exactly the money, because the money has to be spent
And
exactly like the award letter said.
Right.
So what are we gonna vote on? Because we got 500,000, we don't know nothing about it. We know that it's for Bobo Brazil, but we know very little bit about this grant. Now, it's been talked about several times. Oh, we're gonna use it for a floor or whatever. It's been, but I cannot, with good conscience, vote on something that I've never seen and don't know anything about. So that's my request to the chair and Mr. Little, that as these award letters are brought in, they are sent directly to the elected officials so we can look at them.
Thank you, Commissioner Henry. City Manager.
If I might, on this particular one, in your packet behind this is the letter that came to me from Eagle. Says subject, Bobo Brazil Community Center Blight Remediation and Redevelopment Project. Dear Alex Little, congratulations. I'm pleased to inform you that the Office of Environmental Justice Public Advocate in the Michigan Department of Environmental, Great Lakes and Energy, Eagle, has selected your project, Bobo Brazil Community Center Blight Remediation and Redevelopment Project, to receive an environmental justice impact grant in the amount of $500,000. The complete grant award announcement will be shared publicly later today. Thank you for sharing your plans to have a real impact in your community. Your project was selected from among the 189 applicants, all seeking to make a difference. The $20 million Environmental Justice Impact Grant provided through Governor Whitmer's 2024 budget will fund 43 projects, including yours, in communities across the state. The specific funding amount and grant award is contingent on completion of a finalized grant agreement between your organization and Eagle. Due to the quantity and complexity of the application review process, our original timeline estimates have shifted. We anticipate making any necessary adjustments to project timelines, work plans, and our budgets as part of the grant agreement finalization process. We will reach out soon with information regarding next steps. I look forward to working with you on this project. If you have questions, please reach out to me at Strong R Michigan Gov or EJ Impact Grant Project Manager Kate Hutchins at hers. Once again, thank you for all you do to advance environmental justice and save Virginia strong. And that's the notice that we received.
That didn't answer my question. He even said in his letter there would be the complete award announcement will be given later. But that don't eliminate us asking the question. It's gonna go in front of us next meeting. And where is the letter? Where is I want to see it. It is our right to ask for it.
I'm correct, is that the letter?
No objections whatsoever. As soon as we get it, you get it. I don't disagree at all.
Then what are we getting ready to vote for? You
Well-
gonna put that on me to vote for something I don't know what's coming?
It's for,
But if I might,
go ahead.
you really, once we get what they sent us, you won't know much more. To explain what's happening here and to remind you, because you've got two projects that are very much like this. Well, actually, several of them are Oxford kids too.
No.
But what it is that if you recall on both Hall Park and Bobo Brazil Center, when we came to you initially with those, Hall Park was a $3.5 million project. And it laid out all of the stuff that had to be done in Hall Park. We went through a process because we only got $1 million. And because of grant requirements, the first thing we had to do was go through and select a firm to do the design and so forth. And then as we went through doing the design, and so we had to decide with what money is left, what part of the actual work can we do? And you might recall, we had double basketball courts, but only had enough money to start to do one. The same kind of thing is taking place with Bobo Brazil Center. The total cost to do what needs to be done with Bobo Brazil Center, and to be specific about what I'm referring to, you know that the roof has received considerable damage because the stuff on top is peeled back. That's one of the first things that has to be done. You've got windows that have been broken all through the building, and they were single pane windows to begin with. Those have to be replaced, and we're going to replace them with double pane insulated windows. On the inside, you know, they spray painted all on the walls. The basketball floor that was there has been taken up, hauled out of there piece at a time. It's gone. There's pigeon poop from one end to the other. So the building's gonna have to be steam clean. And so it's those kind of things that are the first priorities for getting built. Then what we want to do is to replace that basketball floor, reestablish the community center part of it. And then the next part is to actually take one of the floors and do whatever is necessary to create what we refer to as a resilience center. The exercise that we've gone through with the couple of times these buildings that have water in them, and we've had to scramble to find places to take people to stay warm and so forth, has made us realize that we really need a large facility that can handle people. And that's a perfect facility, and it's got enough floors and stuff to do it. Going to create that center will be one of the projects that will be done after we get the initial stuff done. First, we've got to contain the building. That's roof, windows, steam clean, get all that graffiti off the walls, get rid of the pigeon poop and the dust. Right now, I don't think anybody will want to work in that building without having a mask on, or maybe even oxygen, because all of that stuff is flying up when you walk through. It's all out to be clean and so forth. So that's what's going on with it. And as we finish outlining the priorities, completing the design, each one of these undertakings will develop a set of specifications with the engineers as to exactly what has to be done, how we want it done, what kind of timeline, that kind of thing. Then we'll put it out for bid. Contractors get to bid to do the work in accordance with the specs for us. And we'll just go through them one at a time like that. First, spending the money that was left in that 1 million, and at a point, determine which ones of these activities is best to use as 500,000 on. And as a matter of fact, it's sort of a standard process, because that's what's also been done with the water system.
Mhm.
All the money you received initially was targeted as lead line replacement. Once we got lead line replacement finished, and in fact, just in the last 2 or 3 weeks, approved us taking and transferring what was left to take care of things that need to be fixed at the water plant.
I just want to note that the chair has arrived.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Jim.
If they got any, if them pictures are there tonight, it'll be real cold.
That's nice.
If they fly in there tonight, we need to give them key to the city.
Excuse me.
Commissioner Adams is up there.
Thank you.
Commissioner Adams has the floor.
I just heard a lot of what we've gone through for years. And it's sad, very unfortunate that we're where we are, having to spend more money on cleanup that was already previously done without securing that building after all of that work had been done. Guess if I hadn't to raise that havoc that I did, the bottom windows would probably be not sealed. I think it's very unfortunate that the roof got worse than it has. And I would personally like to know, as a taxpayer, has any insurance claims been put on that building? I think Commissioner Pro Tem Seats has asked that for years. And I'd like to know even up to the previous time. Commissioner Henry was mentioning something that I think Mr. Little had mentioned to me as well. When I was a residing commissioner, it never came before the committee, the commission, to be actually established as a Project Need Foundation founder. Ms. Tracy Jennings, as one of the board of directors, came and spoke on it. But I think that we would like to be actually some type of paperwork. So if we could possibly get on the agenda somewhere to have one of the board of directors come forth and speak on behalf, because I think we would like to be doing some gaming or something as well. I don't know what that's supposed to look like. I think I heard our previous clerk go through some motions like that, but I think that we would like to do something like that as well. We will be very heavily engaged in the community in a lot of upcoming things, as we have been in times past. Actually, what led up to all this money that's being allocated to our communities across the country, a lot of nonprofits that now people want to hold that bay were the ones that did the lobbying and activism work
for this money to be coming forth in our communities. And for that, we're grateful. I'd like to know what part, the citizens will play in what their armory is going to look like. And now that we have more money, I'm previously thinking about some things that I've heard about how the college charges us so much money for events. The armory is really big. And remember, Mr. Little, I asked you, did we obtain that property up on the hill? Because I could see us actually building out on that and making an even larger floor with possibly classrooms on top as well as below. I mean, it can be done. I mean, but I wish that we could possibly, chairman, put together some type of committee and allow them to go over specs with the engineers to see what the people want.
Thank you.
Let them have their input.
Question, Mr. Little, this is directly for resolution for accepting and execution of the Eagle Grant just for Boca Brazil, sir.
That's what this one is.
Yeah.
So this is not, this has nothing to do with anybody else receiving any money from Eagle. Alright. So any money that's coming through this grant will come through this body.
Absolutely.
Every grant will come to this body.
Because there's some speculation that somebody's receiving $100,000 from the federal government through a grant that we have. And I want to make sure it comes through this body.
They definitely will come through this body. But if I might respond to a couple of things that she raised. One, on the question of insurance, when I assumed this role, I'm sad to say there have been no insurance claims filed on anything for years. And correction on that, because I inquired and got a copy of it. There had been claims filed for accidents mostly involving police cars and several suits that were filed against the city by people for different reasons. But no, there was nothing, no claim filed for the armory. There was no claim filed for the
We actually thought Mr. Harris,
200.
Mr. Joe Harris, we thought that he had.
No claim on the 200 Park building. There was no claim filed on basketball courts out here when they did the damage. There was none filed on the roof that blew off of the dugout. And I proceeded to file claims on all of those. They paid $17,500 for the
Nothing on the armory though.
from
That's
nothing on the armory. And in fact, I'm still talking to them about the armory. We've gone through some interesting changes with the
Wow.
insurance
I
company.
mean, if we're entitled, I mean, that's what we pay insurance for, but.
Thank you, Mr. Little, for that information. And I want to, for the line.
30 seconds is a bit much.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me,
Like, guys, cry a little bit.
They died a horrible death.
let me see, Chair, if I heard this right, so I have it right. If I need to find out who wrote the grant and what the grant said, and then I'll wait on the award letter and it's presented to us. I wanna see it. I wanna see what we asked for. It says that we asked for some things. But I don't know what it is. And I need to know what it is.
On this one,
And
we
if
just
this-
asked for the money.
I'm sorry,
On this one, we just asked for the money.
what you asked for is for, will give me $500,000 so I can go to the casino with it.
No, for the gap that we had in financing for renovating the armory.
So you're telling me those things that you just spoke of, the roof and the windows and interior, the flooring and the upstairs and all of that is what you said that you wanted to do with Bobo Brazil, with their money, with Bobo at the Bobo Brazil Center.
What we said was that we wanted to completely renovate the Bobo Rizzo Center, and that it was going to run something like $3 million. We had 1 million, and we were seeking to find funding from any source that we could to do the rest of it. And they will, and this is typical of when you do a grant like this, they will insist that we come back to them with the particulars as to what we're going to do with that, and they'll approve that.
Okay. So
Good question.
the $1 million one, what did that say?
That one basically said that we would begin the process of renovating the Bobo Brazil Center for use as a community center.
Could you send that to us, please?
Sure, we'd love to.
And there was an award letter to that too? We got awarded?
Sure, the one.
Could you send that to us too, please?
Of course, in fact, you approved it.
Yeah, we
Oh, I know we did.
We approved that.
It was approved, but did you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you didn't.
And send it in your package.
Yeah, we read that, and we also
Yeah.
approved it. I also came to collect it seriously. I'm not just stating
I
something.
remember, yeah.
Yeah, we
$1
did.
million. We approved it
We
and we
approved
saw
it
what it
because
was gonna be.
what happened was,
We were just submitting because the work
Well-
needed to be done.
no, what happened was, that was just the basis of trying to get
The start.
the start of the armory for as repairs, windows, just securing it, just making sure, and we argued it for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then we approved it. Some couple people, they didn't approve, but, we did approve that to just get it to a place to where it could be operational if we got something in the future. My question becomes this, that with this grant, there's a lot of other things that are layers. And I wanna make sure that the layers all come through commission. There's a lot of people who are, in the community that's stating that they're getting money out of the grant that we're receiving. And I wanna make sure that everything that's happening is coming through the commission and not anything going without coming to this body. That's the only thing I wanna know.
I understand. Let me say something on that, because everything, the major grants that comes through the city or that the city gets will definitely do that. It'll come to you for approval to accept it. You'll get budgets, what is going to be done on it and whatnot. But as you indicated, and I want to make sure we understand, there are some grants that are going to other organizations that are coming through us. And we may or may not get all the details on those. But as much as I can get them, I will also see that you have that information also.
If I
Thank
may,
you. If we're the fiduciary,
In those cases, we're not.
well, if somebody's getting over $10,000 with our name on it, then, well, and I'll challenge that.
Okay,
Because if somebody's getting $100,000,
yeah,
that's supposed to be coming through the city of Benton Harbor,
yeah,
then it needs to come, and our name is on it, even though they apply.
yeah.
But if we didn't apply as a partner, I think we should apply as a partner, and we should know that we're a partner, instead of somebody
Okay,
sitting up grabbing money and saying they're doing something.
okay.
And I'll stand on that.
Chairman, if I may,
I think the clerk wants to say something.
So I think what you're referring to is part of number 4. Maybe Alex can explain the community change grant and
With-
how
yeah.
that worked with the
Yes.
other organizations. This one right here from Eagle is totally separate.
Right, right.
It's our own grant. But when we get to the next one, Alex can explain the community change grant and how that worked with all the other organizations involved.
So if I may, Chairman, can we please do this with the Armory? I kid you not, it needs to happen, and I'm glad that we got more money because it can happen now. We have access still to, students, well, not so much as students, but volunteers, AmeriCorps. It's totally different and separate from those people that come in from, the youth bill, they be out in the community. If in fact we can put a shower unit, like the showers, I hate to say it, but yeah, when we were in prison, when I was in prison, we built some showers that were like 5 people could actually shower at a time, and it didn't take up much space. And we did this in 5 units to house 40 more inmates in each unit. The bathrooms need to be totally gutted. I mean, I got married down there in 2000 and it was just totally ridiculous.
Which part?
We deserve better at the Armory.
Okay.
The Armory, the bathroom downstairs need to be totally gutted. And I think the showers are on the other side. I don't know where the men's were, but the bathroom upstairs, it just needs to be gutted. And I think those are the 2 major problems that need to be probably gutted because everything else is blocks.
Well, I certainly share your concerns on both of those areas.
Yeah.
We had the experience a year ago when the youth came down from, I think Minnesota.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we were asked to find a place that they could shower.
yeah.
I was embarrassed that we
It
could
was
not find a place.
Embarrassing, yeah.
And in fact, afterward, Dr. Butts had some
Yeah.
renovation
Yeah.
done in the junior high,
Yeah.
so that if that came up again, we would have a place to have people shower. But that will be addressed.
Thank you.
That will be addressed.
Thank you.
But I do want to touch on something else that was asked, because I don't like to, sometimes when things are said and it's not closed, it leaves the impression that there's agreement when there isn't. These processes on these grants, the way now, and I'm gonna qualify this because this is what the process has been. The Biden administration had a lot of concern, and it showed up in the things that they implemented about community involvement and information sharing and all of that. But you heard this morning, if you heard the news, that suddenly anybody's got anything to do with diversity and all of that, no, that may not be there in the future. But what was done with these grants, there have been ongoing year-round community engagement processes to get input from people on everything that we do. And we document it and so forth because the administration, the federal administration, required it. We had to show them that we had done this community engagement and so forth. And that was for the purpose of getting and collecting information on what we're gonna do with the Armory, and how we're gonna go about doing it, what we're gonna do with Hall Park, and what we're gonna do with Ox Creek, and how we're gonna do it, what citizens thought we needed to be sure and attend to it. So that's been done. You're in a process now where these grants are being awarded, where you've got some very limited time frames to get this stuff done. You don't have time to put out a bid and then hold a committee.
We don't.
Committees can't run this stuff. It's got to be managed, done, and put on a timetable. It's just like, I just put out the bid package for 15 units for demolition. We're not sure what they're gonna cost, but I've tried to structure it carefully so that we can still get a project done. Last year, we put out 4, and those came back a cost of almost $200,000, $50,000 for a couple of them each, and $80,000 for one. And that's because of this business about the asbestos and so forth.
All right, thank you, Mr. Luke. We appreciate that.
If I may,
Well, we on this number 3.
and it has a lot to do with
But
number 3.
Cause number 3 and number 4.
But it applies to the one we're on now as well.
We
Okay, I've been on too many calls not to
it's
say
cold
this.
outside.
EPA, there's some folks up top that's over this money that they handing out to different
All right.
communities. And they have assured us that the money that's been earmarked, they have it. And it's coming through to do exactly what it's supposed to.
Is this about the?
Justice
Brazil?
40, yes, it does, because it's some of the Justice 40 funding. The Justice 40 funding started off as an initiative, and the communities around the country were supposed to put together what those initiatives supposed to look like, because we're the ones that know what's going on in our communities and what needs to take place. So,
Thank you. Commissioner Henry,
I just
briefly.
wanna make this one little remark about whoever is the fiduciary, whoever has the most grants have anywhere from 10 to 35% that they could pull off for being the fiduciary and administrator. So that'll be my question. Who's writing the grants? Who's receiving that money? And we should be asking that question ourselves.
Yeah, I'm with you.
well, I have some grant writers.
If it comes in, we wanna see it. He's already promised that when the board comes in, he's gonna provide it to us, so we'll have plenty of time to look at it.
Thank you. Do I have consensus to move this forward to the? Thank you.
Consensus.
Number 4, we're at resolution for acceptance, execution, implementation of community change grant for Mobile Brazil.
What?
Number 4.
The community change grant, our portion of it is indicated in the resolution here on the memo, is $16,294,493. And that,
Is your mic on?
sorry, I wasn't holding it.
Yeah, no, you're,
Yeah.
it's 16 million.
It's $16,294,493. And essentially, that is to provide some work on rehabilitation of Bobo, Brazil, in part as a resilience center. That's what I was saying a little earlier. A place where if some emergency occurs, we have a place for people to go and to be taken warm if it's freezing, cool if it's hot, or whatever, like we've had with these high rises. Also, a microgrid alternative energy project associated with Bobo Brazil Center and some other public, and possibly, depending on what we can do, possibly some homes even. The Let Us Rest recycling program will be receiving a grant of its own. No, I'm not correction. This is, yes, it is. Benton Harbor CDC Garden House Resilience, so they'll be getting a grant of their own. And
When you say their own, what do you mean?
meaning that in this instance, when the community change grant came up, we were loaded down internally here with other grants we were working on and the operations we were doing. We reached out to the Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency to assist with writing this grant. Marcy, you all know her, and she consented to help do it. They were also getting requests from CDC, and
Who is CDC?
That's Ashley Hines and the nonprofit group that she is. They,
How much would they be getting?
I believe it's around $2 million, I believe it is.
So CDC will be getting 2 million?
I believe that's correct.
When is it, does the homes that we say from the foreclosure have to do with any of that?
Not
I'm gonna table that, I'm not even talking about that.
Yeah, but that's not part of this. This is
Well-
our part that we're acting on.
Well, nobody's getting $2 million from us.
No, it's not coming from us.
Well, but I think we're a partner, and if we're not a partner, they won't be getting it.
We really are
I
not.
want Mr.
Well, why would they get $2 million?
I'm waiting to hear what a Project Need Foundation.
They had,
That's what I'm trying to explain.
so they're getting $2 million.
Under the
As a
whole
partner.
concept of the environmental justice plan that the Biden administration was promoting, they wanted certain nonprofits to be able.
I thought it was $100,000.
Oh, no, in fact, hold a second and I'll try to be a little bit more accurate with that.
I can't vote on that.
But you're not voting on that.
Well,
This is just providing.
if we became a partner on that,
You're not.
well, somehow, some way, the Biden administration thought that it would benefit the city of Benton Harbor. And I can't see the federal government giving anybody $2 million without us being a partner of anything.
Let us rest on one nonprofit that will be engaged in.
And it's not against them. But it's just period.
Commissioner, just to give you a breakdown on it, the Benton Harbor CDC will receive, now this is over 3 years. This isn't all to spend in 1 year, just as ours isn't either. It's spread over 3 years. But they're over 3 years, they're right
Job
now,
training.
yeah, $2,575,815 dollars, and it includes job training and
How the world do we give money and people don't even have buildings, they don't have any infrastructure, anything, or any prudence to even do anything, and yet we'll give multi-millions of dollars, which that money could have came to the city and filtered through the city, and we're gonna give somebody that much money who have done nothing. And I'll say that, and I know y'all don't like hearing that, but just got a group together of people that don't do nothing. And we'll sit here and clap our hands and say, thank you, and have not produced not one thing and getting that much money to do what? And it's sad. And we're the only city that have been prostituted like this. People come and prostitute poverty like this. And I don't care what nobody says. I'll stand by what I gotta say. That's ridiculous. So go ahead, keep going.
yeah, this was, and normally in years past, they often require all of these type things to come through.
So are they getting more than the city getting? How much the city getting?
The city's getting, the 16,294,000.
So we get 16 million and somebody else getting 2.5 million. I would rather give it to the school.
But we didn't have that choice.
May I?
It's because people sit up and grab.
But what, understand this, in the beginning, when this all started, I tried to get you guys engaged. The nonprofit that I formed was the frontline community grassroots organization that allowed CDC to step up in the forefront. And you guys weren't paying
No
attention.
problem.
It's showing 1,029,000 the first year.
So who's the grant going to?
Where's that
We're not
information
gonna-
getting that from?
Listen,
You have it.
whoa. We will not be the fiduciary of anybody's money.
This instance, we're not.
No.
So they had a capacity to get that money. And what did it come from being a partner with us?
No.
Southwestern Michigan.
Right, actually, the government, EPA, has provided even a system of what they call technical assistance firms that they pay to come in and work with these groups to help them set up what they need to do in order
All right,
to.
well, hey, I'm gonna say this.
So we're only acting on our 16 million.
Yeah,
Can he keep going? Cause I'm waiting to hear.
yeah, well, no, you should keep going.
No, I
Well,
came
listen,
to
I'm
hear.
gonna say this, and I mean this. When we went to the government to get this grant, everybody knew, all the partners.
Mm.
And that it's tragic that we would, I've never seen, and I noticed, I've never seen a day where people continue to come in Benton Harbor and act like we need somebody. So what in the world somebody gonna do with that much money for the residents of Benton Harbor? And I wanna know it, seriously.
And I will say that you get all the information.
Because what I heard was, it was just an energy house on Broadway. And you know, 1 point something million for an energy house on Broadway, to show somebody energy on Broadway?
No.
Yeah, well, look at it.
Well, you don't give us the information, then you have to
It's supposed to be a hub, and I tried to fix that with the purchase of another.
No, I'm saying that house is supposed to be an energy hub to show people and to train people on how to have an energy efficient home. But 2 point something million to train somebody to be have an energy efficient home.
It's more than that, Chair.
Out of the money.
Tell me
that they
how
have,
more.
Let me give you
Sit
the
down.
information.
You sit down.
If I could give you the information. Garden House, which is the resiliency hub, there's budgeted 192,700 out of the money for that. Homeowner grants is $1,454,680. That they're supposed to work with citizens who are interested in becoming homeowners to go through the process of how to improve the credit, how to do all of the things
The
necessary.
city did that.
Understand?
That was part of the city. The city community economic development did that. Regina Sistrom, Nicole Brown. That was, why do we continue to send money outside of Benton Harbor unless somebody is, it don't make sense. I mean, banks do that every day.
This didn't just start pro tem
Yeah,
citizen.
I don't.
We fall asleep and don't be paying attention.
And as a matter of fact,
We pay
let
attention, but the
me
problem
make you
is,
aware of
when
one
you
point.
sit up
Y'all
and
talking at the same time.
when you sit up and let people do whatever they want to do and get multi-millions of dollars and act like you just need them, you know how many people you can employ in the city of Benton Harbor for $500,000?
We're going to.
No, I'm saying, if you took $500,000 and employed people out of the city of Benton Harbor, you know how many people who have jobs?
Commissioner, may I make a statement that you ought to be aware of? Because of the criteria that they put out on this grant,
Right.
had we not come up with some other pieces like this to be part of it, we may not have been awarded what we got.
We would not have been able to apply without,
Well,
nonprofit.
there's a lot of nonprofits in the community that do.
It was.
Will you give it to us so we can see what we
I have been telling you guys for the longest that we've been lobbying and advocating for nonprofits to actually get funding to help out in our communities. Now it's happening. And we can't stop that process because nothing has been happening.
All
And
right,
some of
thank
the
you.
nonprofits is actually doing the work in the community. I mean, it is what it is, and we just need to move forward.
Ben Harbor's can become so much better because of all these nonprofits we got. I mean, it's 100% better. There's kids getting more jobs, and our economical status has come to a total catapult because of all that they're doing. And I appreciate everyone that are doing it, giving these kids so much money to do what they're getting. And they're going to Puerto Rico and Bahamas and Jamaica and everywhere else to help our kids. Thank you.
If I could finish, just so you have all the information, because I don't want to.
All right. Hey, y'all have a great night. I'm on
Pro tem seats.
I'm on that. I gotta go home.
Pro tem seats.
Y'all go ahead. Commissioner Isom said he has time to continue the meeting, so I got my.
One of the
How much,
most important parts that I need to talk with you all about is this harbor agreement that we're going to.
Well, y'all go ahead. Y'all got time.
Our agreement. I want to hear you
I
go
got,
back,
Commissioner
go
Isom.
back,
I'm sorry.
I want to see what
So-
project need now.
Great.
And I don't mean no harm. I've had a rough week. I've had people die in my family, and it's nothing about anybody about this in this room. But I gotta get out of here. Seriously.
All right.
So continue to pray for the city of Ben Harbor. Pray for me, and y'all have a great night. Thank you.
All right.
And just to conclude on this, the breakdown of the 2,575,015 over 3 years.
Over 3
for
years.
Benton Harbor CDC is Garden House, 193,700. Homeowner grants, $1,454,680. Workforce development, $927,435 for a total of $2,575,815. Then there's $400,000 that is allocated to, just one second, to let us rest for a recycling program. That is $181,480 for the first year, $109,260 the second year, $109,260 for the third year. And this includes equipment, marketing and outreach workshops, some staff people to do part of work and that kind of thing. And the contracts for those two will be directly with the Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency. So we're not a pass-through on that. Ours will be directly with the Community Action Agency for what we're trying to do. And let me see if I hold just a second. Just to give you a little bit more information, as Commissioner was asking for here, the Bobo Brazil improvements and community resilience project, there's $3,239,841 allocated toward that. The microgrid pilot and is $10,746,668. And that's basically the breakdown on ours.
So, overall, this grant will benefit the residents and city of Ben Harbor.
Absolutely,
There we go.
because regardless of any other considerations, that's money that's going to be poured into this city and will be over the next 3 years. By the time this is done, you'll be looking toward another election.
We talking about jobs, education, training.
All kinds of
Who's gonna hold them accountable?
Thank you.
Southwest Action, okay.
EPA and Southwest Action.
EPA,
Community
they
Action
coming.
Agency, they're the ones who will be doing that.
Commissioner Edwards.
Yes, as, Mr. Little was going over there and we was having a conversation about the award money that goes to the non-for-profit, it just came to my mind. I can remember back in, when I had an organization in Chicago, the Chicago Public Health Consortium, was receiving a grant for the purpose of obesity and heart disease in obese youth. And they recruited my organization because I had I had kind of like a sports program. And they recruited me for the purpose of how many children I had that were overweight and how many of those were, that were overweight, how many of those in 2 summers would actually lose the weight, become more heart healthy and those sort of things. But that came to mind. So a lot of times, if the city gets a grant, we know Chicago probably didn't need no money, but it brought back to my mind, there were certain grants that a city can get only if it collaborates with a community or a non-for-profit organization that would fit that whole picture. So, and that just came back to mind what that was.
And that is a part of the government process. I have mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. When I was Jim Thompson, State Economic Opportunity Officer, we passed over $500 million in mayor throughout 102 counties in Illinois. And a lot of those sub-grants I made from the state. The money would come to us from CSA, Department of Energy, Department of Human Services, and all the different federal agencies.
Can I still move?
So you said the only person that can chair is the mayor or the mayor designate?
We would develop subgrants.
Can I move this stuff forward?
And give them to community action agencies throughout and other nonprofits and some even directly to cities. Because like a city like Chicago, they didn't have a separate, they actually had the Department of Health and Human Services be their grantee for those. So that'd be doing the $200 million grant to the city of Chicago and somewhere down at the tip of Illinois and Cascade County or something might be given a $200,000 grant.
If I may,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I'm lost and confused because I've been waiting for Mr. Rob from Solar, Faithful. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. Have you spoken with him? We were supposed to have a meeting. And I've been waiting for that because I've been putting things in place to start some training. Thinking that Project Need Foundation was going, I haven't talked to Ashley. She was dealing with homes. And Project Need Foundation was dealing with job training. Is there been some meetings going on that we missed?
No. Behind closed doors.
I asked again, is there some meetings going on that we missed? Because I tried to show up at everything.
No. And
So,
they
with
would-
no chair or co-chair, we have to adjourn this meeting.
Certain things does it. That's like first of all.
Pass them forward.
Of
Before we can do it.
I mean, it's been a war.
So
There's no
But-
committee capacity.
There are other things that
Yes,
need
but
to,
it's not.
So none of the stuff won't be on the agenda?
Well, you can pass forward
right.
2 and 3 because he was here.
Okay.
That's it.
I mean, I've been faithfully in some meetings that something, I'm confused about something.
Under order, I gotta adjourn the meeting.
Before you adjourn the meeting, I want to say something.
Go ahead, the meeting adjourned.
And
Go ahead,
you,
adjourn.
We can have public comment.
Mr. City Manager.
Go ahead, public comment, go ahead.
Because I know
Go ahead.
I'm going on, whether it's a public comment or not. The next time somebody in here disrespect me from up there, you let it happen without stopping it. You in that chair, you tell a grown, listen, I got the floor.
I'm sorry, Mr.
let it happen one more time, I'm gonna come and sit up there with y'all.
Call the popo on.
No, the popo ain't here, otherwise I'd have had him address it, because Mr. Isom couldn't. No, no, ain't nobody gonna do nothing for me. I do that myself. But don't let it happen again. Mr. City Manager, it's on you to not let it happen again. Because I wanna tell y'all to sit down and shut up half the time. But I don't, because I got a little respect for you. But you're not gonna let somebody sit next to you and diss me as a concerned citizen. I'm here as a concerned citizen, and that's the only damn reason I'm here. It ain't to see y'all smiling faces, giving people everything, but not giving the citizens shit. Don't let nothing happen to me in this chamber ever again.
Meeting adjourned.
And that is not a threat.
That's it, yeah. Okay.
What's that word? What's that word? Do you understand what I'm saying?
So